Hi everyone, I'm going to teach you about the artist Kehinde Wiley, how he was influenced by rap and hip hop movement, and how he incorporated those themes into his very iconic portrait style. So Kehinde Wiley is from Los Angeles, but he is a New York-based visual artist that has created a new style of painting that plays on Renaissance masters' artworks such as Reynolds, Gainsborough, Titian, Ingres, among others. But he changes the subjects of those portraits to represent like urban, black and brown men, and sometimes even women in as the subject matter. So he's disrupting the like Eurocentric white view of art by integrating black and brown imagery. He is most famous for creating the official White House portrait of President Barack Obama. He changed the kind of more conventional view of power and privilege by integrating non-traditional portraiture styles, including sitting in front of this like bush. He used flowers that represented both Chicago and Hawaii, which were personal to Obama. And he really created a different kind of portrait than had ever been done before, especially for an official White House portrait. His signature style was to recontextualize old master portraits by replacing the old white Renaissance men with contemporary black and brown individuals in heroic poses. He literally recreated some really famous Renaissance portraits, including Titian and Rubens, but he changed the image to include black people in a position of power. And then he also integrated a lot of William Morris style patterns into the background, which kind of brings in a little bit more of like contemporary African themes. But his style was meant to really disrupt the like old white Eurocentric view of art. Since he was focused on painting black men specifically in positions of power, he often focused on rap and hip hop artists that are like pretty famous for their time. And he integrated their portraits in the style of old masters' work. So this is a portrait that he painted of LL Cool J in the style of Titian. And then he did one of Big Daddy Kane where he integrated his like iconic patterns that are superimposed over the portrait itself. The biggest thing to look at in Kehinde Wiley's paintings are the poses that he chooses. So what do we notice about some of the preferred poses that he like gravitates towards? The figure is often centralized. There's not a lot of extra details often. The background is kind of like overlapping on the portrait itself, but the portrait still comes through fully. Um, and then the like pose is often a powerful pose, often taken from like old Renaissance paintings, like I've said, but it reimagines it by adding in these kind of other elements. So, inspired by Kehinde Wiley, we are going to create our own digital Wiley style self portraits. So, we're going to integrate our own photograph into a William Morris background, and I'm going to show you how to do that using a free program called Photopea. And the result, you should kind of end up with this like Kehinde Wiley-esque portrait of yourself. The first thing that you're going to need to do is snap a selfie in a powerful pose. So choose a position where you can kind of almost get your entire body in. I found like an old picture of myself on a hiking trail and I kind of liked the like angles of my arms. But if you want to take like a brand new picture, feel free to do that. And then your second item is to download a William Morris background that you like. So if you literally just Google William Morris backgrounds, you can find one and save it onto your desktop. So you want to have both of these files on your desktop before we begin with our digital style portraits. Hi guys, I'm going to show you a really simple way to create a Kehinde Wiley style portrait using the free online version of Photoshop, which is called Photopea. I already have my background and my selfie image saved, so if you have not done that already, I recommend finding a William Morris style background and taking like a selfie that's in like a strong pose inspired by the poses of Kehinde Wiley. And then once you've done those two things, you're going to open Photopea, which is just photopea.com, and I'm going to select new project. The size that I would like to use, I'm going to start with just like a 1080 by 1080. It's just like a square design, so that my like canvas is not so big, and then hit create. So then I'm going to go to File, and I want to open and place my background first. So I've already downloaded it. It's a William Morris wallpaper. And then once it's placed, I want to drag all the corners so that it fits my canvas. And then once you've kind of dragged that to scale, you're going to hit enter. The next thing I want to do is place my portrait. So I'm going to go back to open and place and upload my selfie. Photopea does have a free background removal tool, but you do have to watch a 30-second video since it is a free program that allows it to be free. So it is ad supported. So you're going to go up to select, remove background. And as soon as you do that, it's going to ask you to watch an ad. So once you watch that 30-second ad, your background should remove automatically. And then I'm going to go back up to the move tool, which is just the triangle with the little like plus sign. Select your image, and then if you select this box here on the top that says transform controls, you'll be able to increase the size of your image if you would like to, if yours is small like mine was. So I'm just going to increase the size of that. And I'm going to kind of place it strategically based on where I want to integrate it with the background. And then once you've kind of placed that, you can hit enter and unselect that transform controls so that you don't accidentally move that around. And then with that also selected, so I'm still on my photo layer, I'm going to add a filter to my photo to make it look a little bit like a oil painting. So I'm going to go up here to the tab that says filter and then stylize and then select oil paint. It gives you like a little list here so you can like move these around to see how it changes the effect. So you can see it kind of already has created it. So you can make it like a little bit cleaner. You can add like brush stroke details. It changes it around just a little bit. And once you like the filter effect, you can select OK. I just think that adds something kind of nice. Gives it that like painterly effect, which I think is cool. And then my next step, I want to integrate my photo here into the background. So I want my background to become layered on top of this. So the way that I'm going to do that is with my photo over here selected, make sure nothing else is selected, just your photo. You're going to zoom in. So I'm going to click Control and the plus sign to zoom in. And you can scroll around, you can scroll up or down. And I'm going to erase part of my photo so that some of the background shines in from the back. So I'm going to select the eraser tool, which is on your left tool panel over here, eraser tool. You can change the size of your eraser up here. I'm going to keep it at the size I have. I like that size. And I'm going to erase just like parts of myself so that the background shines through in particular places. If you need to rasterize first, that's okay. Click OK. And then you should be able to carefully erase some of your photo so that your background comes through on top. It's up to you to decide how much you want to erase, but that is already kind of creating an interesting effect. So now my portrait is kind of falling into the back. the slower you go, the easier it is to have a little bit more control. So I think that's pretty good. My portrait is integrated. I kind of like that some of my background is showing through. I've only got like the right side, which is fine. And if you want to end up like moving your picture over a little bit, you sure can. But that will change the effect, which you can go in and edit. And then once you're happy with the effect that you've created, you can decide how much you want to delete of your picture, how much background you want to show through. Once you're happy with it, you can take a screenshot by hitting print screen on your computer. Taking a snip of your final image, and that is what you're going to upload to your Schoology assignment. And that is how you create a really simple version of a Kehinde Wiley style portrait.